What's going on, guys? It's the Midwest IC Rail Fan 1000, finally bringing you with another model train review video. Now, honestly, it's been a while since I last did one of these videos, and I'm sorry that it took so long. Besides that, a freaking almost 2-hour long update video on the whole layout. Honestly, that's my apologies for making it too long. I should have kept everything brief, but oh well. So, if you remember from that update video, if you actually bothered to watch the whole thing, which congratulations to you if you did, I actually kind of showed a sneak peek of this thing right here at the very end. And what this is a train I got at K10's Model Trains in Maryville, Illinois, for only $5. Now, where's that? Yep, $4.95, but you know it's over $5 with tax. But you know, it's previously owned, and it says it right there. This is an Athearn blue box, Illinois Central GP35. So obviously here's the box. Now it's the older Athearn blue box. I like its boxing style. It's pretty nice. A little artwork they have on here. This is the only blue box engine that I own as of right now. They had another blue box engine at K10's. It was a CB&Q F7. It was for like $15, but I was like, nah, I didn't want that. And I'm actually interested in the Illinois Central Railroad. I'm a fan of the Illinois Central, so that's why I picked this up. And yeah, so here's the box. You got some of Athearn's sets on the sides. Obviously, blue box from Athearn is basically a series that Athearn had back. Started, I don't know when it started. It was like, I think in the 50s or 60s, and it ended in 2009 when Athearn decided to discontinue the blue box range because I guess there was no need to continue for sending out kit bash kits because people wanted ready to roll cars. So, but honestly, I don't mind kit bashing. I love kit bashing. This car wasn't kit bashed. So actually, this is not a car. I'm sorry. This locomotive wasn't kit bashed, but yeah, let's get into the unboxing. And also, guys, bear with me. This video is unscripted, so I'm sorry if I butcher things up or comprehension sounds confusing. I'm gonna try my best. This video, like I said, is unscripted, so yeah. Also, another thing, I already opened this engine. Let me take it out of the box first. We'll do a quick review on it first. Here's the locomotive. We'll get to that in just a second. Here is the exploded parts diagram. As it says right here, Athearn GP35. This is a flywheel drive. This was a pretty popular make back in the day. Now, I thought it said the year on here. I was curious what year this engine was, but apparently, unfortunately, I couldn't find out what year it is. But I think this is a 70s or 80s engine, so it's pretty old. And you have all the parts. Here's the parts to get into the engine. Also, here's all the prices of the parts you can actually buy from Athearn. Obviously, they didn't have websites back then, so obviously you had to order the parts, I think, through phone probably. But look how cheap the prices were. Now, obviously, I think it was different. It's not going to really matter because, you know, inflation. But if you look at the prices, I mean, look at this. Undecorated body for only $1.75, and you had different body styles for different railroads. You had the Atlantic Coastline, Baltimore and Ohio, Burlington, which is CB&Q, Illinois Central, Santa Fe, Southern Pacific, Erie, Lackawanna, Chassis System, and you got handrail sets for only 60 cents. Oh, just kidding, wrong thing. $1.15. Horn was 60 cents. And then the tiny details, number boards and cab windows. Well, I can't see which one it is. Cab windows, 15 cents. But like number boards and a cab roof and rear lens, that's only 10 cents. It's crazy how much the price was for those things back in the day. But you know, nowadays the model railroading hobby is getting more expensive every day. Sorry if I'm not getting all the whole parts diagram in. My camera is on a tripod, so just to get rid of any shaking or whatever from like previous videos. But yeah, that's pretty insane. But yeah, that's the parts diagram. So now let's get on to the review of the engine. Alright, so here's the engine right here. It's actually not a bad looking engine by Athearn. Now, obviously, I already took this engine out, and I will show you some pictures right here on the video right now that I did some TLC to this. When I bought this at K10s, the guys told me that it needed some TLC, it needed to be cleaned, and they weren't sure if it ran. And I took it home, it did run, but it was a bad runner. There is a light, a working functioning light in this engine. It's very dim though, so that'll need to be replaced. Detailing wise, like paint wise, it's not bad. It's pretty good actually. They got the only central green diamond logo. There's the number 9432. Now, obviously, this is the green diamond paint scheme. You got the white stripe at the top of the locomotive, and then you got at the walkway below. This model is decently heavy. Most of the engine is metal. Let's go to the front here. You see, obviously these blue box engines, they have no number boards. If you can see, hopefully it'll focus, like the top of the window is actually clear still. You got like clear plastic up there. So if I can just turn it this way, hopefully you might be, yeah, you can see inside of like the hood, kinda. That's no big deal. You got the, let me use my handy dandy screwdriver here to do the detail work. Get the lights here, marker lights. This engine is pretty dusty, by the way. It's been up on a shelf for a while. I haven't ran it in a while. If I remember, this engine did come with, I actually can't remember what couple. This engine did come with horn hooks, but then I put Bachmann leaf spring couplers on it because, you know, as temporary. I'm gonna put KDs on it eventually, but this is all I got for now. Here's the wheels. Like I said, this is all metal except for like this part. This is like a little piece that you can pry off to access the gearbox to the locomotive. You can see part of the flywheel underneath there too. Now, I'm not going to open up this engine because there was pictures I had taken when I was working on this engine, cleaning it up and stuff. This engine actually has a steel flywheel and it's not brass or copper. I'm not sure what type it is, but obviously I believe that this is an older make. This has rubber mounts for the motor on it too, and yeah, there's not much I can say about this engine. It's a really nice model for an old Athearn model. Athearn did a pretty good job. Oh, I forgot to mention the handrails. They're metal. They're decently sturdy. There's the horn. You got dynamics, which is kind of a big question for me. And when the guys actually looked at it at K10s, they were kind of curious because IC usually doesn't have dynamics on their locomotives. Now, this is, I don't know if this is just a fantasy scheme, but I think IC actually had not SC35s, GP35s. So, I don't know. It's just an Athearn probably. And you got some fan grills back here. Now, obviously, these old engines kind of lack detail, but obviously, these are old. And there's not much I can say for the rest of this model. It's a pretty good model. I forgot to mention too, the engine's missing its back handrails. It was like that when I bought it, but it's no biggie because I might just buy a replacement part for this engine. So yeah. Alright, so we're on the layout now to test the locomotive, and before I actually test it to see how it runs now, I'll show you some clips of the engine running after I cleaned it without the shell and stuff. So here it is. Alright, so that was the videos of the train running. The engine was test ran after I cleaned it. And the performance was actually a lot better than what it was before. I didn't take a before shot, so I just only did an after shot, so that's kind of on my part. But I can say that the engine ran a lot better. And yeah, so here is, we're going to do our test run now, see how that performance still stands out. Now, originally, this engine did not start on its own. And by the way, sorry for the messy layout. It hasn't been worked on in a while. This is at full speed too. One thing I like about this engine is it actually comes to a smooth start and a smooth stop. So I'm going to turn the volume, or not the volume, but the speed dial down, and comes to a smooth stop. Besides like my Bachmann engines, they just come to a halt. Whenever I stop it, it just glides onto a smooth stop, which is what I like about Athearn locomotives. These Athearn locomotives are pretty smooth runners if they're properly maintained. And yeah, now there's a light in there too. It's pretty dim. Let's check it out in reverse. Originally, this engine couldn't start on its own when I first got it. I had to force it by moving it to get it to start, and sorry about that. But this engine does run. It's a nice Athearn engine. Do one more look around. And there you go. So thank you guys for watching this video. I'm sorry that this video was kind of lackluster in such a way. Like I said, this video was unscripted, and I'm trying my best to try to get videos out after my little break. If you watch my Why I'm Quitting YouTube video, it kind of explains what I'm going through and stuff. But I'm trying my best to get videos out, and yeah, this is a video I just decided to work on so I can get it out of the way. And if you guys were interested to see this video, and here you go. Some updates about this locomotive. It's a nice running engine. It runs really good on DC. I really want to convert this engine to DCC, however. DCC was sound. But I'm actually thinking about replacing the motor in this engine because it's a pretty old motor. But it still runs good. But I'm going to replace the motor with an Athearn Genesis motor. And I'll have to get some, I think, A-line motor pieces for the engine. And I have to get motor mounts from Athearn to mount at the bottom of this, because we're not going to be using these plastic motor mounts for this engine anymore afterwards. The reason why I'm wanting to replace the motor in this, because even though it runs good already, one, it will run a whole lot better than how it runs right now. And two, it makes it easier to install DCC, as with the Athearn Genesis motors. They come with a DCC board on it. And most of the time, and they mostly have a quick plug on them. I'm not sure what sound I might put in. I'm thinking about ESU lock sound, because I'm a fan of ESU, even though I don't own any ESU locomotives as of right now. But yeah, I'm hoping to see how this thing will turn out in the future if things go right. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching this video, and please check out my other previous model train videos if you haven't. And yeah, take care, guys.